Hello guys and girls and all in between, it is I, Large Does Beyblade, and today we're going to be going over the Beyblade generations, not in order. So, since I have a limited amount of each generation, especially the single layer generation, we're going to start off with the generation that I have most of. That being the God series, Evolution series, whatever you want to call it. Second season of Beyblade, best season of Beyblade, and we're going to be doing this in a weird order. I'm gonna try doing it by release date, but I know I'm not gonna do that. So for starters, we have Strike God of Valkyrie, or as Hasbro likes to call it, Strike Valtriac. It's basically Strike Valtriac 6 reboot. Well, in the original, it's basically God Valkyrie. It's Strike God of Valkyrie 6 frame ultimate reboot. But since this is the Hasbro version, they decided to not do an ultimate reboot. So the gimmick for Valtric is this. There's two gimmicks. One, where it sounds good on paper, is spring-loaded attacks on the layer. Therefore, in theory and on paper, if a bay were to collide, it would activate the spring. Keep it in, and the spring would end up recoiling. It would basically deal a heavy knockback damage. On paper, it sounds fine, and in the anime, it shows it quite well. But in real life, it doesn't even work. Now, for its driver, Reboot, there are these two tabs that open during battle, making it a stamina type. If it wants to stick out more, it's hard to see. Stick out and makes it a stamina type. Once it's gone during battle, it starts becoming an attack type like it's supposed to be. Therefore, it gets a second life during battle. People say that their Hasbro version doesn't really work since it gets stuck. I say mine's fine because it doesn't really get stuck at all. But yeah, that's how you get Valkyrie, Strike God Valkyrie, God Valkyrie. Up next is Ragnarok, which Glide, Rising. I forgot what this one was called. Anyways, this is the third version of Ragnarok. It has Ragnarok for, I think it's called 4-cross Fugal. And basically, what Rocktavor's gimmick is this. See the little tabs open? That's like one of its only gimmicks. The tabs on this are supposed to open out for more stamina, more balance, more airflow. And the same thing goes for the Fugal driver, which it's for more airflow, for it to stand on the stadium better, and so it can have more stamina. That's basically it for Roktavor, actually. There's not really anything much besides the lack of stickers. Up next is Tornado Wyvern. Or Tornado Wyvern. Basically, its gimmick is already being shown. It has, for the Takara Tomy version, it's a lot more tighter, but for the Hasbro version, they decided to make it loose. Basically, in battle, and this one actually works pretty well. In battle, a bay is supposed to hit it, and it's supposed to spin, doing 0 damage to the layer, and it's supposed to spin. On paper, it sounds pretty good. In the anime, it works pretty well, and in real life, if you're having the Hasbro version, then yeah, you're pretty good with it. And then it's tip atomic. Don't fall on me. Anyways, it has the parts Tornado Wyvern for, I really have to learn the frame names, and atomic. Basically, what atomic does is that it's one of the few bays that have a ball tip, and it has this thing around it. There's this thing that spins around it. Basically, atomic is like linear, but it actually works because while it's spinning, the ball is free spinning, therefore kind of making it unpredictable. And the few bumps on the side of atomic basically make it glide around the stadium extremely well. Right, I forgot about you. Kinetic Satum or Christ Satan. On paper, wait, hang on. Right, Kinetic Satan 2 wheel. Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyways. Or does it say otherwise? Whatever. Anyways. This is Kinetic Satum. Its main gimmick is the wheels. Is the wheels on its layer. Therefore, on paper, it sounds good. And in the anime, it shows that any Bey can hit it. In real life, it's spinning a little too fast for the Bey to actually hit it, and if you hit it, you won't even notice. And then we get to the tip. My friend broke both of the wheels when I gave it to him, just so he can test it out. He broke both of the wheels. What was I supposed to say? Oh yeah. On paper, the wheels are supposed to help it from taking damage and for a good recoil move. In the anime, it shows that as well. But in real life, it kind of doesn't really work that well, and my Satum does not have its wheels anymore. So, whoop-de-doo, it's a normal Beyblade. Up next. Now, up next is a weird one, since this one never showed up in the anime. But it is Galaxy Zeus, or, well, Galaxy Zootron. It has the parts Galaxy Zootron 4 Linear S. But here's the thing, these isn't how it's supposed to be in the actual product. Sure, yeah, they gave it linear, but they decided to market as a slingshot Bey, but despite it releasing an evolution. They did the same thing, but since they had to do it for Dead Hades and Shozi Valkyrie, they decided to make two Turbo Beys slingshot. They made an evolution Bey slingshot. But here's the thing. Basically, what Zootron's gimmick is this. It's supposed to have two metallic balls in its layer, like regular, like Zillion Zeus. And it's supposed to help it from balancing. And the tip linear, on paper, it's supposed to help it glide on the stadium. Like, easy. But the Bey is spinning, therefore it does not work. If you're ever lucky and you spot linear actually activating at a perfect moment, then consider yourself lucky, please. Up next. Sorry. Is Surge Excalibur. Sorry. Siege, Surge, whatever. Siege Excalibur. This is a recolored version, but this is Siege Excalibur 1 Iron. And it has two gimmicks as well. The metal on the layer. The metal on the layer was a clear hint of what this thing could have, therefore its power. Its gimmick is the metal on the layer, yeah. And the metal on the layer is supposed to have heavy damage attacking. It's supposed to be heavy damage in case it hits. This thing ended up being pretty weak. And then the tip iron is supposed to help it with attack due to it being an actual metal tip. Therefore, its tip is made out of metal, and it kind of has a little bounce feature for some reason. And then up next is Maximus Garuda, one of the shortest Beys in the entire world. Maximus Garuda's gimmick is this. I already explained its Fugal gimmick. Anyways, its parts are Maximus Garuda 8 Fugal. Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh my god, my Fugal's breaking. My Fugal's breaking. Anyways, I already explained what Fugal's supposed to do, so it's time for the... Sorry, my iPhone decided to be funky with me. Anyways, like I was trying to explain, Maximus Garuda is a perfect circle like Atlas Anubion. It's supposed to be the reason why it's so circular and so short is because it's one of those stamina types that are supposed to be a stamina type. They're not supposed to be attacking. Therefore, it has amazing defense. But this is this is a rare moment in history. This is one of the few moments where Hasbro made it exactly like the Takara counterpart. Here's what I mean. Maximus Garuda, made in Japan, was never supposed to have teeth. Therefore, if it had teeth, it would have amazing defense and amazing burst resistance. They decided to not give it teeth for that reason. And therefore, even without teeth, Maximus Garuda was still good and therefore banned in most tournaments because of this. Hasbro, this is the only version that they made directly from Takara, just because they both do not have teeth. Alright. I can't believe I almost forgot about you. Goober. We have Alter Chronos. Or Alter... I forgot what they called it. Alter Chronos... Alter Cognite. You have Alter Chronos, Alter Cognite. Its pieces are Alter Cognite, 6 Meteor, Trans. I got that one right. So, Alter Chronos's gimmick is this. Basically, it has, as you can see, the blue ball. And then when you turn it, you end up getting stamina. Orange means stamina, and blue means attack. This is made for more weight distribution and its determination on the stadium. Now, its tip trans only works with left spins, honestly. Because if you try putting it in attack mode, it spins so hard that it spins so hard to the point where it just goes into stamina mode. So it works better with left spinning Beyblades because both the attack mode and the stamina mode don't go off. And we have Legend Spryzen. So far, one of the best in Evolution, one of the best bays you can ever have. And because of this, its pieces are Legend Spryzen 7 Merge. One of the few bays that don't actually have a frame. Its gimmick for Merge is that it's supposed to be both plastic and rubber. Therefore, the plastic is on the middle and the rubber is everywhere else. The rubber is supposed to help it have massive counterattacks, while the layer has its gimmick. Right now, it's in right spin. But if I do this with the layer, if you do it with if you end up doing it with the layer, it's gonna mess up the inside, which I still do it to this day. Put it together, it's left spinning. It's left spinning. That's one of its main gimmicks, the fact that it can change spins from left to right. 2 more. Nightmare Longinus, Nightmare Luminor. One of the few bays to not have a gimmick, one of the few bays to not have a frame, but also the very first Beyblade that can have 2 pieces. That's its gimmick. Nightmare Luminor has both its disc and its forged disc and its layer fused within it, therefore making it hard to burst. Not impossible, just hard. And its only other piece is Destroy, which is really good for riding around the edge of the stadium and really good for offensive attack. If you can also use it for defense. This thing wasn't banned in tournaments, it was just that good. Then we have Beat Kalkin, or Boom Calzor. I don't know why they changed it. So before we get to the layer part, since this one is a little more mechanical, we have its tip Hunter. It's an all rubber tip that just reminded me of something. It just reminded me of something. It has an all rubber tip, therefore making it kind of unpredictable in the stadium if you land it flat. And then therefore its layer. Oh yeah, its pieces are Maximum Garuda, no, Beat Kukulkan, 7, don't know what you're called, Hunter. So, Maximus Garuda's ability is this. Look closely at the yellow. Saw that? It goes out. In anime, it's supposed to be like some sort of like heavy like attack. And in real life, it just kind of like makes it more unpredictable due to the weight distribution being a little too lopsided. Give me a bit. I knew I was forgetting somebody. You know who I forgot? I think it was called Killer Death Scyther. I'm not sure. I forgot. But yes, Killer Death Scyther. Its pieces are Killer Death Scyther to Hunter. Where's the rubber on Hunter? My friend decided to use it as an eraser back in elementary school. It worked, but it messed up the tip. I already explained how Hunter works, so we're going to explain its gimmick. Its gimmick is on its layer. Like with every evolution bay. Basically, what it's supposed to do is if it gets pushed in, it's supposed to go in and deal a massive heavy attack, therefore being a double strike. Now, on paper and in the anime, it looks amazing because the gimmick works, but in real life, the gimmick never actually works, and it's just making it more unbalanced than it actually is. We have 2 bays left to go. We have Roar Bahamut, or Roar Barkesh. Basically, what this thing does is... Yeah, you can see it, right? Oh yeah, its pieces are Roar Bahamut 2, I don't have the frame, Atomic. I already explained what Atomic does, but as you can see, as long as it goes into battle, and it's almost at bursting point, it creates this thing called a perfect circle. And therefore, it's supposed to have amazing defense. In theory, this is absolutely amazing. It's busted. And in the anime, it shows that it's pretty busted. But in real life, that's not how the story goes, as it doesn't work at all. Now we get into one of my favorite bays. I'm holding it right. Spriggan Requiem, whatever. This thing was banned in tournaments due to being that broken. The metal, the absolute shape of it, the rubber on the layer, and the way how it just had these broken pieces. Spriggan Requiem 0 Zeta. Spriggan Requiem's main gimmick is it has two gimmicks on its layer. From right to left, and from left to right. And it has rubber on its layer, therefore making it able to spin steel from both directions, no matter where you launch it. And its tip Zeta. Pop it out. As long as you pop it out, you will be able to change it from... I dropped so many things. You will be able to change it from attack, defense, and stamina, balance mode, whatever you like to call it. Therefore, this thing was so broken to the point where it was banned in tournaments, just like Maximus Garuda. It was that broken. So there is the dive in. Oh yeah, how can I forget? We have some bays that I don't have, which kind of sucks. The bays I don't have are Deep Chaos. I used to have Blast Genius. But I never got Blast Genius. I ended up giving it to a friend. There was also Drain Fafnir. There was an opportunity to get Drain Fafnir or Dead Phoenix. My mind decided to tell me, hey, you should get Dead Phoenix. And that was it. I never got my Blast Genius back, and I never got my Drain Fafnir, and I never saw Deep Chaos in stores. There was also Shelter Regulus. I used to have it, but I ended up giving it to a friend out of a Beyblade trade, just for Dynamite Belial and Twister Pandora. So that was another one gone. I used to have Genesis Valkyrie, but since it's basically the same as Strike Valkyrie, just downgraded, it's not really worth mentioning. Then there was... That's it, actually. Next time we do this, it's going to be the Turbo season. And after that, if you guys want, I can do the dual and single layer region together, because there's not really that many gimmicks that go around. So, yeah, in case you guys ever want to see that, let me know. Howdy, y'all.